So, what if I told you that one of the best teachers on the super complex topics of boundaries and consent is maybe right now curled up asleep on your couch? It sounds a little out there, I know, but today we're going to explore this pretty wild idea that our own house cats are giving us a masterclass in how to interact with other humans. This sentence right here, this is what started it all. It's the title of a post on a huge Reddit forum, and it's not just some clever line. It sparked this massive conversation with thousands of people who just instantly got it. So the question is, how on earth can this little furry animal be a master of such a deep human concept? For so many cat owners, this isn't just a funny internet thing, it is a daily reality. Think about it. The whole relationship you build with a cat, an animal that absolutely will not put up with being treated like an object, it forces you to learn things like respect and patience and the art of asking for permission in a really tangible way. And this quote just nails it. This user, a casual nerd, they said that interacting with their cats literally helped them understand concepts that were really hard to grasp otherwise. And that's a pretty powerful thing, right? It shows how these simple, everyday interactions can completely change our understanding of autonomy and respect.
Okay, so how does this lesson actually play out in real life? Well, it all starts by learning the unwritten rules of how to engage with a creature that has very, very clear boundaries. It's kind of like learning a whole new language of respect. And if you really look at these steps, they're not just quirky little tips for cat people. This is basically a step-by-step guide on asking for consent. You make yourself non-threatening, you offer a choice. See, with the outstretched hand, you're not demanding anything. That slow blink, that's a sign of trust in their world. Every single step is about giving the cat the power to decide if this interaction is going to happen or not.
This quote from user Gaia Neuron, this captures the whole shift in thinking perfectly. You're not forcing an interaction. You are creating a safe space where one could happen. You're giving the cat, or, by extension, person, agency. And that simple change in perspective, that is the entire foundation of consent. But look, this idea isn't just based on feelings and Reddit anecdotes. It turns out there's a growing body of psychological research that helps explain the science behind the really unique bond we form with our pets. Yeah, researchers have actually started applying some pretty serious psychological frameworks to our relationships with animals. This 2011 study is a great example. Scientists used a really well-established theory of human relationships to try and understand our connection with our pets. So, what is attachment theory anyway? Well, in simple terms, it's the idea that our first bonds in life kind of shape how we connect with people forever. We want to be close to others. We look for comfort when we're stressed, and we use those secure relationships as a base to go out and explore the world. And what researchers are finding is that our pets can actually fill all of those roles for us. So this study came up with a way to measure our attachment styles specifically with our pets. And it breaks down into two main things. There's attachment anxiety. That's that worry, right, about something bad happening, that need for a lot of reassurance. And then there's attachment avoidance, which is more of a discomfort with being too close, a preference for some emotional distance. And here's the really key finding from this research. The way you attach to your pet isn't just a copy-paste of your human relationships. It's its own unique, measurable psychological bond, which kind of confirms that these relationships are complex, they're impactful, and they're this unique learning ground where we can practice respecting boundaries in a much lower stakes environment. Okay, so we've established that cats are these amazing teachers of boundaries. But anyone who's ever lived with a cat knows there's a little bit of a double standard at play here. I mean, this is the question on everyone's mind, isn't it? We spend all this time learning their language of consent, but does it ever go the other way? Let's be real for a second. As user Squishy Cthulhu so elegantly points out, a cat who decides it wants to make biscuits at 3 in the morning does not typically ask for permission first. Your personal space is, in fact, their personal space. And then there's this absolute classic moment, which was hilariously shared by Lavender Cookie Dough. It's like cats have a sixth sense for the absolute worst time to demand your undivided attention. And we'll just end the list of violations with this unforgettable image from some various shift. The best part is the cat looking offended at being rejected. So yeah, clearly consent can be a one-way street in the world of cats. But jokes aside, that very independence, that one-way street, is exactly what draws certain types of people to cats in the first place. Research in personality psychology actually suggests that your preference for cats might say something pretty interesting about how you're wired. This paints a really fascinating picture. Research suggests that cat lovers often don't feel the need to conform to social norms as much. They have a higher tolerance for delayed emotional reward, meaning you don't need constant validation to feel secure. They also tend to be less threatened by emotional distance, and they understand that trust has to be earned through actions, not just words. This story it's a little chilling, honestly, but it really highlights the core idea. Someone's reaction to a cat's independence can tell you so much. An inability to respect a cat's no can be a massive red flag because it speaks to a desire for control, not companionship. All right, let's bring all of this together. We've got the personal stories, we've got the psychological theory, and the personality traits. So, what's the ultimate lesson our cats are trying to teach us here? This right here is the main takeaway. The skills you practice with your cat: patience, observation, respecting the word no, earning trust. All of those things are directly transferable to your human relationships. It's like a training ground for empathy and for mutual respect. I love this quote from Cosmopolitan. It totally reframes the cat's nature. It's not about being aloof, it's about a form of self-worth. It's about having your own inner confidence and energy that attracts the right people to you, instead of you having to go out and chase validation. And just to be super clear, embracing this feline energy isn't about becoming distant or cold. It's about a much more mature way of looking at relationships, one that values a real connection that's given freely, not one that's forced or demanded. So, we'll end with this question for you to think about. Whether it's with a pet, a friend, or a partner, every single interaction is a chance to learn something. So, after all this, what are the creatures in your life, big or small, teaching you about where you draw the line?